How many Skibidi toilets do you think would be able to take down the Skibidi Multiverse Titans? As we all saw how powerful they were in large numbers in the series, the huge damage they were able to inflict on their victims, could they really pull it off? In this video, we are going to see how many toilets would be able to defeat our Skibidi Multiverse Titans. But first, we have to know the size difference between the so-called toilets and the Titan before we make any comparison. Because bigger Titans would just easily smash down the tiny toilets in their path. So, we're going to be using something from the multiverse that is a toilet but was relatively strong. Well, the Jimmy clones are a good pick, but I think they are too overpowered and still pose a threat to the Titans. So let's bring it down a notch to give the Titans a chance here. So we are going with these Skibidi minions instead. Yeah, they are fast and attack in packs, overwhelming their victims. I think this would be a good fit for the video. I mean, just take a look at how they were able to overpower the camera Titan before he was saved by the Rockstar speaker. Crazy, right? Let's start with the speaker Titan. So first off, the speaker Titan would have to keep as much distance as possible to avoid direct combat with the minions, since that would put him at a huge disadvantage. Luckily, he has really good range attack measures like his guitar. And from what we've seen in the series, it does do a pretty good job at stunning them a little. He also can use his core blast to destroy them. And since he uses the instant core type, the energy release would be crazy, which means he'd be surfing through this and would take down a lot of minions. However, the speaker Titan isn't the best at stamina, and at some point, he'll definitely take a toll from the continuous attack and would be defeated eventually. I think with this battle scenario, the speaker Titan would be able to take out about 400 Skibidi minions before being defeated. However, let's move on to our next Titan. We have the camera Titan. Bro would be instantly getting PTSD flashbacks of how he was violated by these same toilets. But he's a bigger man now, as he'll be in his prime form. So this is basically a rematch. The camera is at the center, and he's attacked from all directions, just like in the original story, like swarms of ants. The camera Titan, unlike the speaker, deals a lot of damage with his blasters. We saw how it was able to clear a large portion of the ground. So, with the minions charging, he'll notice he has to fly to be able to stand a chance. So he flies up, and with the blasters, he clears a large number of the minions. Let's say at least more than 50, based on the large radius and intensity of the blast. But these are pack animals. They'll ultimately find a way to get up to his level and pull him down, maybe stacking on top of each other or just flying. So, the camera Titan would have to prevent this from happening by using his sword to slash them down and flying around, blasting them. I guess, with this strategy, he'll be able to hold on and take down a lot of the Skibidi minions. But disaster strikes when his jetpack runs out of fuel and he has to land. Now there's a whole army of minions waiting for him to land to devour him. But he still has insurance. He activates his shield and it keeps some out, leaving him to deal with some of them inside. But he notices that they still don't stop coming. The minions were able to get in by burrowing into the ground to enter the dome. If they are able to tear away armor on the Titan's body, then they can do just that. With this, I guess the shield would just serve as a control to delay the inevitable, but this would buy him even more time and more minions he'll be able to take down. But soon, he'll be out of juice. Well, I guess based on his fighting style and the battle scenario, you'll need at least more than 500 Skibidi minions to take down the camera Titan by wearing him out with continuous battles. Well, that was a blast. Let's move on to the next, the TV Titan, the daddy of the show. How many toilets would be able to take him down? Well, for this Titan, it would depend solely on one question. Does the hypnotic rays work on the Skibidi minions? If not, then the TV Titan has a lot of work to do. But in this video, we'll assume it works, since at least they can spot their enemies, meaning they have eyes. So yeah, the TV Titan would have the advantage with the hypnotic rays. But the problem is, can it really go in all directions? He would be surrounded. The TV Titan is mainly a melee combat style Titan, so overpowering him with many opponents would be just enough to bring him down. But we all know the TV is not going down that easily. He still has some tricks up his sleeves. His Rage Mode. When he unleashes it, he'll be able to take down all the minions directly around him, increasing his kill count tremendously. But he's not going to rage for long. He's probably going to give up from exhaustion. The TV Titan would clear at least more than 500 toilets before getting overwhelmed, mainly due to the Rage Mode ability taking out a handful of minions. However, let's move on to the next, the Drill Titan. Oh boy. This guy is a literal beast, And since he'll be in his prime form, which is the dragon form, you can only imagine how cooked those minions would be after the fight. But everything has a limit. The advantage he has over them is his ability to fly and his high attack potency. For the Drill Titan and his hot temper, they'll annoy him like flies. And even if they are chewing on his armor, their jaws better be very strong to rip it off. So basically, he has a lot of durability and attack potency, so he's lasting on the battlefield for sure. I think when the battle drags on, he'll definitely quit at some point, but by that time, he should have destroyed over 700 minions. Yes, that much, because we all know how much of a beast he is, but you can tell me what you think in the comments. Should it be lower or even higher? For our next Titan, we have the Pencil Woman. Damn. Obviously, she's at a disadvantage if she decides to fight them head-on, as she has a fragile body, literally made of paper. They would just tear her into shreds. But she has another trick she can use to increase her kill count. Since we are using her prime form, it means she has the ability to summon the clones. Many of them. So, with this, she'll be able to survive longer. But ultimately, since they are all attacked in all directions and outnumbered, even the clones would be maimed. But before they tear her apart, she uses her final trump card, the Pencil Rage mode. Although it doesn't have a high range, it'll still be able to add more kills for her. In everything, she'll be able to destroy at least 400 minions, given she had help from multiple clones and Rage mode. The next opponent is the Counter Titan. Although it'll be controversial if they can even penetrate his strong armor or have any effect on him, the Counter Titan is a fierce Titan. Seeing this many minions would get him even angrier, leading to massive crash outs and stomping. If they climbed on him, maybe they may be able to scrape off some material, but not fatal enough to bring him down. So it all comes down to durability. Damn, that's his specialty. At this point, it's very hard to rule, but I'll say more than 800 minions before maybe they bite the spider out of him or something. Let me know what you think in the comments. How many do you think before the counter might need a break and, take a cigar? However, the next one is a very formidable opponent, my Big Daddy Clock. I'm rooting for you. In the Clock Titan's case, things would be a lot more different based on the fact he has the power to control time. And we saw how effortlessly he destroyed the minions with his shoulder blades in the series. The sheer speed of those blades alone would be enough to take down a handful of them, even if they are coming from all directions. My Daddy Clock is just too broken to fight against minions, because no matter the little damage they manage to cause, he can always heal himself back to full health by rewinding time. So yeah, but we still need a number to at least say before he gets bored and teleports out of the battlefield. Let's say more than 1,000 minions flattened before Bro casually walks out on them to conserve aura points. He has bigger fish to fry. However, let's look at size. How many toilets would be able to take down the G-Man apocalypse? A literal fortress? Well, for this, I'll say his size doesn't matter too much because they'll just crawl up on him until they get in. And when they get an opening, it'll basically be GG's. G-Man might have fought to keep them away, but they just keep on coming. They may have to self-destruct the fortress to get as many kills as possible. Given the strategy they used, the kill count would be in the thousands. Definitely. But our next opponent is someone that, even his name sounds evil, a menace himself, the Sinister. Apart from the fact he yaps too much, I don't see any other time the minions have to make an attack because he can just open up his big-ass black hole and funnel them to another dimension. So, instead of dropping time nukes, he can drop 10k plus minions on you, infest your universe totally, or very simply, casually drop a nuke, zoom off, ending everything. So, you can't possibly rack up a number that the Sinister can't handle. So I'll say, do the math. How many minions can fit inside a universe? Because the Sinister can literally turn them into dust. So there you have it. It goes to show that in large numbers, a lot more can be achieved. However, check out this video to find out what would happen if the Camera Titan was evil. Unique Clockman out.